President Uhuru Kenyatta is back in the country after attending the International Criminal Court Status Conference as a private citizen. On arrival, the head of state was welcomed by his Deputy President William Ruto. He then held a meeting at the Presidential Pavilion where he received a brief about events during his absence. President Uhuru Kenyatta resumed his official duties last evening after the legal instrument appointing Ruto as acting president expired at 6 p.m. Kenyans were out in large numbers to welcome the president, whose procession was passed through Outer Ring Road, Jogoo Road, Landis Road and Haile Selassie Avenue through Harambee House. And now we are joined live from the Harambee House. We will be joined shortly by Sam Ogina, who I understand is on standby. Now, our senior political reporter, Sam Ogina, is on standby at the city center that is just outside Harambee House. Sam Ogina, I understand there's a large crowd waiting outside there. Do you know what time we expect to see the president? Be joining Sam Ogina back in a few minutes, but let us have a look at other stories. The Africa Center for Open Governance has stated that giving more funds to the counties would be a waste of public funds from the unclear budgets. They have faulted the county governments for coming up with unrealistic budgets that become difficult to deliver. This is as a result of lack of public participation, making it difficult in service delivery. AFRICOG was releasing a report on county budgets this morning. We'll have that story later. Elsewhere, residents of Sinyonget village in Kericho County are reeling in shock after a dog ate a baby moments after she was born, just a few meters from her parents' homestead. Police arrested the parents and are holding them at Fort Tenon police station as they conduct further investigations so as to on a possible case of negligence.
Villagers in this remote region of Kipkelion West constituency woke up to the shocking news after one of them spotted local dogs running around with bloody snouts. The man, who is an in-law to the mother of the dead baby, decided to investigate, and when he visited her house, her explanation and subsequent events led to the gruesome discovery.
Semeji yake akasema hapana, na mbona wako na damu nyingi? Akaambia ulitupa hiyo damu wapi? Akasema nilitupa kwa latrine. Semeji yake akaenda kupekua hiyo latrine, akopata hiyo damu kama vile alikuwa ameelezwa. Kustukia kidogo, maumbwa imeingia kwa hiyo mahali hiyo semeji yake alikuwa anatafuta hiyo damu. Alafu akawacha yeye kwa hiyo latrine, wakakuja mahali mwili ilikuwepo.
A neighbor to the suspect says this is the second time in the last decade that the couple have lost a child in suspicious circumstances.
Aliua mtoto mwingine tena msichana. Asa alikuwa siku hiyo alikuwa bado anaishi juu hapo karibu na kwangu hivi. Sasa tukaanza kutafuta mtoto tukatafuta paka jioni. Hatukupata mchana yote paka jioni ndio tukapata akiwa kwa miti ndani tena. Alikuwa amewacha ndani ya miti tena huyo mtoto na ameua tena.
Police ferried the infant's body to the nearest mortuary that is in Muhoroni town in neighboring Kisumu County. This is the second murder that the suspect is alleged to have committed over the last decade. And with the police stretched to their limits, securing the grassroots is proving to be an even bigger challenge. Fredo Mulo, KTN, Kericho County.
Some rather disturbing and sad news right there. Let us cross over to the city center where there's a different kind of mood, and President Uhuru Kenyatta, who just came back, is being expected after attending the International Criminal Court Status Conference as a private citizen. On arrival, the head of state was welcomed by his Deputy President William Ruto. I now understand that Sam Ogina is on standby and ready to give us an update on what is happening outside Harambee House. Sam Ogina, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear, Ian of Fuller. Now, what I can just tell you is Right now, we have seen the advanced team of the presidential escort. The convoy has just made its way here, and we expect probably, I can see the presidential escort vehicle, actually, the advanced team set up just a few meters from where I'm standing. And if my cameraman can actually pan to this other side, you can actually see the shots of and a crowd surging from behind, I think just accompanying the president. And right here we have a dais that has been set up, and also the presidential advisory team here led by Joshua Kutunyi is actually here in handy. Probably this means that the president is going to make an address from the podium that has been set a few meters from where I am, and the crowd here is actually anxious just to have a glimpse of the president, who has returned from the International Criminal Court, and he jetted here, touched down at 6:30 today, and also met with the deputy president, then the acting president William Ruto, who gave him a debrief of his 48 hours as acting president. Remember that the acting president held several meetings. On day one, he had meetings, as you can see, the presidential escort team here, and the men in black, that is presidential security, the elite team, just running, which means the president isn't so far from making his way here at the Harambee House, outside just the office of the president. Well, we see dignitaries here also from the executive, from members of parliament, and also senators. I can see Nandi's senator. There is Stephen Sang. He's here. And also earlier in the day, we also saw the arrival of Rachel Shebesh, the Nairobi women's rep, also here just awaiting the arrival of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Remember that Uhuru actually took a tour of Jogoo Road. That from the airport, he used Enterprise Road, Jogoo Road, Landis, and also that is the Haile Selassie Avenue. And now he's just making his way here, and we expect that, or rather we are told that he might be walking, just saying hi to the crowd that has surged here to have a glimpse of the president return from The Hague. And this event can actually be likened to 2011 when then Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto returned from The Hague from the confirmation of charges hearing, and also just made almost the same. They used the same route from Jogoo Road but the difference is then they went for a rally at Uhuru Park. Now today, Uhuru will be actually addressing his supporters, Kenyans who have come out in large numbers here outside the office of the president. And as you can hear, those are chants of just welcoming the president, who I can see waving to the crowd alongside the deputy president and also the senators, the people who actually had accompanied the president. Make also here. Let's just make way for the truck that is clearing the road. Yes, to make way for the president's arrival. It has been a 4-hour wait. It has been a 4-hour wait for these individuals who have come out here after just the office of the president. Remember that the president left Jomo Kenyatta International Airport at around, well, it is a scuffle here. People just trying to actually make their way close to the presidential convoy and the presidential limousine, as you can see right on your screen. President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto right there. Well, it is chaotic. Exactly what I can tell you. It is quite chaotic. And the president waving to the crowd that has been here since, say, around 7 in the morning. And security is quite crazy also. Both regular administration police, the National Youth Service, just shoving the crowd aside to make way for
Lakini hatutaweza haya ikiwa ya kwamba kila kitu itakuwa siasa na malumbano na maneno ya mdomo ambaye haisaidii mtu yeyote. Hatuwezi wananchi tuwe watu wa kulia kila siku. Yatakikana saa ingine tuwache machozi ya yale ambaye alitendeka jana, na tujiulize, hii mikono Mwenyezi Mungu ametupatia, hii bongo Mwenyezi Mungu ametupatia, tutafanya nini ndio tutatue shida zetu? Tuwache ya kulia. Machozi peke yake haitasuluhisha, lakini tukiweka bongo zetu pamoja na nguvu zetu pamoja, we can do many things as a nation to transform this country for the betterment of 40 million Kenyans. Huo ndio msimamo wangu, na mimi nawauliza Wakenya wenzangu, mkubali tuungane pamoja, tuelekee hiyo barabara ya kujenga Kenya ya kesho. Mutakubali wenzangu? Mimi sitaki niwachokeshe na mengi. Tumeongea kutoka asubuhi. Yangu tena niko watolea shukurani kwa vile mumejitokeza kwa wingi kutoka asubuhi kutupokea na kutulaki. Na pia niwashukuru kwa yale maombi yenu ambaye mmetuwekea. Na niwahakikishie ya kwamba sisi tuko tayari kufanya kazi pamoja nanyi kujenga Kenya yetu kwa niaba ya wananchi wote pahali popote walipo. Na niwaambie ya kwamba hata wale wakitaka kuendelea miaka 20 hawatatuogopesha. Sisi jukumu letu ni kwa Wakenya kwanza, na tutaendelea kuwahudumia Wakenya mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Wenzetu, tupendane, tushirikiane, tujenge Kenya mpya. Mungu na wabariki, Mungu na walinde, na asanteni sana kwa yale yote ambayo mmetutendea. Asante.
Well, we'll call it the president holding a political rally just outside his office, and also you can say that depending on how you look at the breach of protocol, the president and the deputy president riding actually in the same car, but the message is loud and clear that we need to unite as a people and not fear each other, and also just use our tribal and differences in diversity of tribes to actually unite and build a brand of Kenya that is a united Kenya, and develop the country. That is the message that Uhuru Kenyatta has actually just addressed the country through, and the crowd that is actually right outside that is his office here at the office of the president at Harambee House.
Just a day after President Uhuru Kenyatta appeared at the International Criminal Court at The Hague, the court had a relatively less busy day. This afternoon, the appeal chamber will be shifting gears to the case of Deputy President William Ruto and journalist Joshua Arap Sang. Edith Kimani is still at The Hague and now joins us live. Edith, what do we expect this afternoon from the court?
Yes, Ian, today what we're expecting is for the appeal chamber at the International Criminal Court to make a determination on whether or not the trial chamber judges were correct in compelling 9 witnesses to testify against Deputy President William Ruto. Let me just give you a bit of background as to how we got to this point. 9 witnesses withdrew their testaments, 9 of them, all of them, expected to testify against Deputy President William Ruto. They did cite that they had been paid to make some of these statements. They also said that they falsified the statements, so very serious allegations against prosecution. Now, Deputy President William Ruto's team was, however, not very happy with the decision that was made to compel them, obviously, to testify against him. And so they wrote to the appeals chamber asking that this decision be struck. And that's what we're waiting for today. But in the meantime, you will remember that the Deputy President's team had also asked that as we're waiting for this decision today, that the witnesses not be allowed to continue giving their testimonies. This, of course, was thrown out, and the witnesses have continued giving their testimonies. 3 of them have appeared before the court via video link, and they have been deemed as hostile witnesses. What this means is that the prosecution, while they have been cross-examining them, have been asking leading questions rather than open-ended questions. So what happens if the appeal chamber rules in Deputy President William Ruto's favor? It means that the witnesses will no longer be forced to testify, and the 3 who have already testified will have their submissions recanted. They wouldn't hold any water in that case. However, if the appeal chamber finds that the trial chamber judges were correct in issuing that decision, then the testimonies will continue as have been. And so that's what we're looking to see at around 2 p.m. Dutch time, which means by 3 p.m. we will know if the prosecution's case will be stronger or whether or not it will be broken down into little pieces.
Thank you very much, Edith. And away from International Criminal Court, we go to the African Center for Open Governance has stated that giving more funds to the counties would be a waste of public funds from the unclear budgets. They have faulted the county governments for coming up with unrealistic budgets that have become difficult to deliver. This is as a result of lack of public participation, making it difficult in service delivery. AFRICOG was releasing a report on county budgets this morning.
The county governments have 33% of national revenue. They're asking for 45%. I would not give it to them. And the reason I would not give it to them is that they still do not have the capacity to use the money that they're already getting. We need to improve the capacity of the county governments to use the money that they're getting before we give them more money. This Finance Act should be a little document that Wanjiku can walk around with and read and understand. So if you produce a document of 130 pages as a Finance Act, then the people will not understand it. And if they don't understand it, they will not be willing to pay taxes.
We found that not enough has been done to strengthen the knowledge of citizens to achieve the constitutionally central principle of participation. The Constitution makes it explicitly clear that the people of Kenya are sovereign and must be consulted in a much more in-depth manner than has hitherto been the culture or the practice in politics.
Elsewhere, the Federation of Kenya Employers Executive Director Jacqueline Mugo is urging new graduates not to seek employment, but rather be job creators. Mugo says substantial amount of time is wasted by graduates moving from office to office while seeking employment and end up getting frustrated when turned down. She advised new graduates to be more innovative and employ the skills they acquire in colleges to be self-reliant.
The space you're filling in the Kenyan economy is very important. In the recent past, we've been crazy about converting every institution of learning, every college, every technical institution into a university. And we at the Federation of Kenyan Employers have been speaking for a very long time on the gap in the mid-level categories and skills that we need.
Lazima kusoma uajiriwe, tunaweza soma kwa mfulani, tunaweza kusoma kwa mlimani, lakini umuhimu ni kusoma. Hii ndio kitu ambacho sisi tunatarajia na ndio kitu Mungu anapenda watu wasome. Kazi ni baadaye. Ukifikiria wasoma kwa sababu ya kazi, umefeli.
Poultry farmers in the country are reportedly in a rush to get hold of a new chicken breed in the country. The breed, known as KUROILER, is said to be far much better than local indigenous chicken. They grow faster and larger in size and are also resistant to diseases, and their eggs are also bigger. The breed, which is said to have originated from India, Kamchemenza, now has more details on that.
Elijah Mwigai is one of the farmers in Nakuru who have already ventured into KUROILER keeping 6 months ago. This is his flock, comprised of the KUROILER and the Kienyeji breed. It's hard to distinguish between the two breeds. Farmers say the KUROILER is more of an ordinary chicken than the grade breed, but better. At 6 months, a KUROILER cock can weigh up to 3.5 kilograms, and like the normal 1.5 kilos, their eggs are visibly bigger.
On the right hand, I'm holding a 2 months old the normal Kienyeji chicken, and on my right hand I'm holding two months old KUROILER chicken. You can see the difference in size, yeah?
Zikienda zikikuanga kubwa, mayai itaenda ikikuwa kubwa. Kwa hivyo ya KUROILER still itakuwa bigger than this. Kwa sababu these are still chicks.
Outside Mary Maina's chicken house, we find a few 4 months old KUROILERs.
The last loud we sold allowed 200 of them. And we were selling each of them at 400 shillings. They were allowed 3 months old, almost 2 kilos.
Joseph Mwanyinge has over 700 chicks of the KUROILER breed after selling his first lot when only 4 months old. The farmers say they got the chicks from Uganda, but not in vain, as the benefits are huge. One can collect up to 270 eggs per year per chicken. They say the breed is a free range and resistant to diseases.
Kitu haifanyi ni kulalia. Lakini ukiangalia hii kuku ya kienyeji piwa, hutafikisha hiyo mayai sababu iko wakati ilalia ikapoteza time.
Those who have already ventured into rearing the breed highly recommend it and abandoned rearing of the kienyeji type.
The live weight was actually 12 kilos, and after slaughtering it, it was allowed 10 kilos. So it is true. They can actually go even up to 12 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was for how long?
They were like 1.5 years old.
Of course, they've got more meat, if that's what we're looking for.
But researchers at Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, say they still cannot validate the farmers' claims as they haven't done any research on it. The breed is said to be spreading fast, just like the infamous quail.
I may not know about the 10 kilograms. The 10 kilograms as per se, because I have not had imefikisha, but I know they are big. But we may be forced to go down to the ground and redo it, because if farmers are demanding and we are the one researching, we have to do it.
Kamche Menza, KTN from Nakuru County.
Some rather insightful piece by Kamche Menza there. Now, the news that DIANI Beach has been voted as Africa's leading beach destination has ignited hopes for the arrival of tourism sector. Tourism in the region has suffered a hitting blow owing to recent security concerns, but stakeholders are optimistic that the award means a turning point for this sector.
Where there were once hordes of tourists, one is now lucky to spot the odd tourist. Kenya's coastal region, once a popular tourist destination, has taken a hit owing to various incidents of insecurity. But things are finally looking up. During the Travel Awards, Kenya was voted Africa's leading beach destination.
It's fantastic for Kenya. It's absolutely fantastic for Kwale County and Diani to have some positive news, having been voted by the World Travel Awards Committee as the leading beach in Africa.
You don't have to go to Caribbean because here is so nice.
Tourism stakeholders are optimistic about what this means for the sector. They intend to make use of the opportunities arising from the award to launch an aggressive campaign aimed at restoring the glory of the sector. The stakeholders have urged the government of Kenya to pursue diplomatic channels to persuade countries which had issued travel bans to lift the bans and inform their citizens that the region is now safe.
Coast has lost so far 20,000 jobs. From 20 charters, we are down to 5 or 6 charters. So we need to revive this industry, and an award like this is a reward for our industry.
The award is consumer-driven, a process that involves tourists who visit a tourist destination voting for the destination as the best. Some of the unique features that place Diani as a top beach destination in Africa and one of the best in the world include its coral reefs that prevent large fish like sharks from entering the lagoon, the pristine beaches, and the beautiful natural environment. Wilkis Anyapo, KTN.
Now let us get into sports. It is just 16 days to go for this year's 12th edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon, which is slotted for the 26th of this month. The marathon, which is the flagship project of the Seeing is Believing community initiative, aims to raise funds for the needy in the community. And 11 different corporates have so far pleaded 172 million shillings worth of sponsorship. The local organizing committee received sponsors' checks earlier today at a Nairobi hotel in the final preparations geared towards the marathon.
I am pleased to announce that in line with our commitment last year to extend our sponsorship for another 5 years, this year Standard Chartered Bank will invest 91 million Kenya shillings in the organization of the event. Since inception, we have managed to raise more than 88 million Kenya shillings, and the funds have been used to help restore sight to 6,500 children through corrective surgery. This year, our target is to raise 30 million, up from 23 million in 2013.
Since we started running this event, we have never had any doping issues. That means the athletes that normally participate are always clean, and we shall remain clean.
And that story from the Gunners makes our last story this afternoon. Do have yourself a lovely afternoon. My name is Ian Wafula.